So the Indiana Fever go down to the Aces, and I got to say, I am not liking what I'm seeing.
I mean this when I say this. Fire Stephanie White yesterday. Like, fire her yesterday. And the reason why is not that Stephanie White is a bad basketball coach. It's not that Stephanie White is a bad motivational speaker. It's not that Stephanie White has done a bad job defending her players. It's not any of that. It's that Stephanie White and Caitlin Clark fundamentally have...
What happens when one of the most hyped rookies in basketball history gets trapped in a failing system with a coach who won't adapt? Caitlin Clark just suffered another blowout loss, this time at the hands of the Las Vegas Aces. But this wasn't just about turnovers, missed shots, or tired legs. No, this was a deeper unraveling. Behind the scenes, frustrations are building. Coach Stephanie White on the hot seat. Caitlin Clark silent, but visibly shaken. This isn't a slump, this is a meltdown. And Clark may have finally had enough.
Yeah, I think the little things, we've kind of just shot ourselves in the leg consistently doing that. We turn the ball over, we foul a lot. You know, those are just easy points for them. I don't know how many points they had at the free throw line tonight, but I think they had 18 off of our turnovers, and that mostly falls on me. That falls on me as our point guard. I think I have to really get us into stuff, especially in the fourth quarter. We didn't do a good job of taking care of the ball. I didn't. So I think just starts with me and just getting better in that.
In her last 2 games, Caitlin Clark is 1 for 17 from beyond the arc. Against the Aces, just 7 for 20 from the field, with 8 turnovers. On paper, she had 19 points and 11 assists. But anyone watching knew something's wrong. Meanwhile, Aya Wilson did what MVPs do: 24 points, surgical execution. The Fever lost control in the fourth again. This time, outscored 9-2 when it mattered most.
I have to say, I saw the same type of energy from Caitlin Clark that I have been seeing from her, or actually maybe just from the last game, but I saw her definitely having in the last game, and that was kind of a little deflated, kind of under baseline energy levels. She wasn't like really talking to anybody on the court. She wasn't showing much emotion, and this is, that is where Caitlin Clark shows all of her emotion.
Let's talk about the system, because this is where the cracks start to show. Stephanie White's motion offense is built for veterans, not for dynamic, pick-and-roll players like Clark. Instead of letting Clark run, create, and dominate in transition, she's being scripted, like a Broadway actress in a play she didn't write. One analyst even joked, it's like she's auditioning for Basketball, the musical. But this isn't a joke anymore. This is wasting prime talent. White's defense. She blamed turnovers and spacing. But isn't creating space literally your job as head coach? Every team will try to make her score inside the arc, she said. Of course they will, Stephanie. That's why you build plays to counter that.
Aren't as good, and obviously it's frustrating. You want them to go in, and even tonight I felt like there was a few that felt really good off my hand and it just didn't go down. And even the mid-range jump shot to start the fourth quarter and the 3 to start the fourth quarter, they both felt good off my hand. So it's just frustrating.
Something's changed with Clark. The emotion, the spark, the energy fading. She's not celebrating threes. She's not directing teammates. Even in pressers, she sounds drained. One fan put it simply, that's not the Caitlin we know. Whether it's exhaustion, injury, or frustration, Clark's silence is deafening. And it didn't help when Coach White intercepted a question about officiating, telling media, "I'll handle that." Was that protection or control?
Biggest thing is what we have to do as a staff to get her better looks, like higher quality looks. Every game plan is going to be to make her score inside the 3-point line, right? And the different ways that they're going to do that: physicality, coverage, showing bodies, all the different things. And we have to do a better job of getting her higher quality looks.
The tension isn't just internal; it's external too. Clark's name has become the lightning rod of the WNBA. From Dejounai Carrington's subtweets to Angel Reese's smirks, Clark is clearly in the league's crosshairs. And fans notice the double standard. When Clark's fouled hard, it's called rookie hazing. When she reacts, it's called entitlement. Add that to the media frenzy, sold-out arenas, and being the face of a league in transition. That's pressure number 22-year-old should carry alone.
Now, that energy from Caitlin Clark is very different. It feels like everybody on this team, like, I don't know, Dewana Bonner has been in her head. I think that it's showing that Caitlin Clark is in her head, and she's 23 years old and she has the weight of the success of the WNBA on her shoulders. And, the Connecticut Sun game was very intense, so we can't assume that it didn't exactly have an effect on her, but there is definitely something going on. I know she's also been coughing a lot, like for a while, actually. So, again, all I would be saying are assumptions here, but the energy level that Caitlin Clark is exuding is a little worrisome. I mean, it could just be she lost 2 games in a row and she seems pretty.
The biggest flaw isn't Caitlin's shot, it's the system. Clark thrives in freedom. Fast breaks, pick and rolls, downhill movement. Instead, she's chasing the ball off screens, only to get trapped or fouled. And it's not just tiring, it's demoralizing. Since losing Dewana Bonner, the offense looks lost. But where's the coaching adjustment? You can't build a championship team on preseason chalkboards. Basketball is adaptation. And right now, the Fever are stuck in rewind. Let's not ignore the elephant in the room. Caitlin Clark is not fully healthy. The quad injury that benched her earlier still lingers. Her footwork slower. Her shot lacks lift. And after that eye poke incident, her shooting rhythm vanished. Injuries, fatigue, and constant contact are taking a toll. But instead of managing minutes or tweaking schemes, Coach White keeps slamming her through the same brick wall. Despite the chaos, Caitlin Clark hasn't thrown anyone under the bus. "That's on me," she said about the turnovers. "I need to get us into better stuff." That's leadership. But leadership needs direction, and her coach doesn't seem to have one. At this rate, Clark will burn out physically, mentally, and emotionally. Unless something changes fast. The WNBA season is long, but patience isn't. This team was supposed to compete, now they're collapsing. Caitlin Clark didn't sign up to be a decoy in a broken offense. She's the engine, the ticket seller, the face. And right now, the system is failing her. Stephanie White has a choice: adapt or get out of the way. So, here's the real question. Is Caitlin Clark being misused or misunderstood? Is this a coaching problem or a league-wide issue? Comment below your thoughts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell, because we're just getting started. Caitlin Clark, the most talked about rookie since Diana Taurasi humiliated again. Stephanie White, a coach once praised for her championship pedigree, now scrambling for excuses. The Indiana Fever were supposed to dominate. Instead, they're spiraling. And after a blowout loss to the Las Vegas Aces, Clark didn't hold back. Behind the polite soundbites, boiling frustration, missed shots, confusing play calls, silence from the sideline. Something is broken in Indiana. And if it's not fixed soon, this season is over before it began. Clark went 1 for 10 from beyond the arc combined with her last game. She's now 1 for 17 from three-point range. Her final line? 19 points, 11 assists, 8 turnovers. But here's the truth. The numbers mask the emotional collapse. Slumped shoulders. No eye contact with teammates. While Aya Wilson scored 24 and led a clinic, Clark was isolated mentally and tactically. This isn't a slump, it's systemic mismanagement. Stephanie White's offense? A slow-motion motion system designed for veterans. But Clark is built for chaos and creativity. She's a transition sniper, a pick-and-roll killer. Instead, White has her running around like she's auditioning for basketball, the musical. When elite guards like Aya or Breanna Stewart hit the floor, they know where their shots come from. Clark? She's guessing. And when shooters guess, they miss. Where is Stephanie White? Literally. She missed multiple games for personal reasons during the team's worst stretch. Leadership isn't about press conferences, it's about presence. Assistant coach Austin Kelly even admitted, teams are targeting Caitlin physically. That's the strategy all season. So, why isn't White adjusting? Why is she protecting officials and the system instead of her player? Clark's game isn't just her shot, it's her swagger. But lately, the emotion is gone. The chest pounds, the trash talk, the fire extinguished. She's not talking to teammates. She's not talking to reporters. And maybe, just maybe, she doesn't want to talk to her coach either. This isn't the first time Stephanie White has faced system criticism. In 2016, she was let go from the Fever after a mediocre season. She moved to Vanderbilt, where she resigned in 2021 after multiple losing records. Now, she's back in Indiana and facing deja vu. She's coaching not to lose, playing it safe. And when you have generational talent like Caitlin Clark, that's a crime. It's not just mental, it's physical. Clark's quad injury earlier this season hasn't healed. She's coughing mid-games. Her lift is gone. Her base is shaky. And yet White keeps forcing her into the same offense, same tempo, same expectations. This is how careers get derailed. The WNBA is physical. Clark is being targeted. She's being hacked and shoved. But where are the adjustments? The protection? The Fever didn't build this team to survive. They built it to win. Boston had 18 in the first half, but nobody could finish the job. The bench looks lost. Role players don't know their minutes. This isn't just a Clark problem. It's a culture problem. You don't draft a superstar to clip her wings. You let her fly. If White can't design a system for Clark, then someone else must. You don't get many second chances in pro sports. Stephanie White has had hers. But Clark? She's only just begun. And if Indiana won't protect her on the court and in the locker room, she might not stay loyal for long. The Fever's window is closing. And unless White adapts immediately, she may be the one walking out before Clark ever considers it. What do you think needs to change first, Clark's system or her coach? Smash that like button if you think Stephanie White's seat is heating up. Subscribe for more brutal basketball breakdowns and WNBA exclusives. Because this story, it's only just beginning.